Dun, 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 dun. Welcome to another mukbang. Let's do grata food. Oh, heavenly universe. Thank you so much for bringing me here to this present moment as a safe, happy human being. Thank you to all of the people watching this video for them taking the time out of their day to support my channel, to get some inspiration, hopefully, from the questions that I answer. And thank you to the land that has provided and provided and provided for thousands of years to get this food that I'm about to eat to nourish my body and soul. Thank you to all the components. Namaste. Amen. Hallelujah. Welcome, y'all, to another mukbang. 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 Welcome to another mukbang. I thought it would be interesting to switch it up. I don't know if switch it up is the right word, because this is a typical meal that I would eat, but I eat a lot of potatoes, rice, pasta, beans, and there are some people out there, I happen to disagree with them nutritionally, but believe that eating a lower carb foods, more squashes instead of potatoes, quinoa instead of rice, you know what I mean. They like to eat like that. So I thought I would provide kind of a lower carb, still very healthy, and even a lot of, enough calories for a good post-workout meal. I just took a run. This is I don't know if it would be called paleo per se, but here's what we got. Let me show you. First off, the main part of the dish is this quinoa, just cooked quinoa, and then on top I put a little curry powder, barbecue sauce, nutritional yeast. There's also steamed broccoli and carrots in there, and pumpkin seeds. I also have a baked butternut squash and one navel orange cut up, and then I have a simple green salad with cucumbers, and I have right here, it's just tomatoes, strained tomatoes with lemon as the dressing. You could add in a little tahini or something like that if you wanted some more fat. And that's what we're doing. So thank you guys for being here. Hope you're doing well. Let me know in the comments what you are eating with me, if you are also eating. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, who knows what part of the world all my beautiful viewers come from. So refreshing. Definitely want this orange. I also have a glass of my homebrewed kombucha that I've been sipping on. This is my first glass for my new brew. It needs to be a little stronger. You learn through the brews what to change in your recipe. It all depends what types of tea you're using, how much sugar you used, blah, blah, blah. These oranges are so good. Oh, baby. So I realized, my mukbangs that I've put up so far are almost like food challenge mukbangs, and that they're like a lot of food. But I realized I can also just eat normal amounts of food and mukbang. So that's what this is. There's nothing extreme about this meal. This would be a very typical lunch for me. I usually have more like nice cream and kind of sweet things. This would kind of be a dinner, but this is totally normal. One cup dry of quinoa. Pretty big bowl of quinoa. Okay. Well, I got a few comments from, the last few days in regards to my mukbangs and what you guys like and what should change. And one thing I got is that you want me to tell more stories about my life, about my upbringing, crazy stories I've had, and I'm happy to do that. I also really like to answer your questions. So here's some questions from YouTube. AADD says, can you tell us interesting stories from your life? I'll get back to those. Let me answer some questions first to get going. What pottery do you enjoy making the most? Do you have an idea of what you're going to make when you sit down onto the wheel, or do you let the clay influence you when you're working with it? It's a great question. So I'm a ceramic potter, if you didn't know, and there's links in the description box where I sell my pottery online if you want to purchase it. Here's a pot that I made, a nice bowl. Here's a plate that I made, great plate, you could enjoy that. Look at this wacky cup that I have been drinking out of for years. So my favorite pottery to make is just functional, like vegan bowls, you know, like a big enough bowl to just eat a big thing of quinoa. I like to make functional pottery over like sculptures or anything like that. And yes, when I sit down on the wheel, I know exactly what I'm going to make. It's the sign of a good potter when you can have control. So when people sit down, they're like, I don't know, whatever happens. That just means that you don't really have control over the clay. So I think it's very important to know exactly what you're going to do when you sit down. Okay, I want to dig in to this because it's epic. Oh my god. It's gorgeous. Gotta mix it up though. Now that I'm trying to be a mukbanger, is that a word? I've been watching some other ones. People do some funny things. I've seen some good stuff, I've seen some unfortunate stuff. People just eating like super nasty things. But it's a crazy world out there. Oh baby, that's good. Barbecue sauce. Also, not eating so much food is going to help making these things not like hours long or like 45 minutes long. I realize it was a bit much because it takes so long to eat a lot of food. I gotta find something to prop the food up so you guys can see it more, you know? Like, look how gorgeous that is. Let me try to get a little focus on there. Oh my god. So beautiful. Quinoa, I used to eat a lot of quinoa. I don't as much anymore, but it's so good. Another question for your next mukbang. This is from Balance L, dedicated follower. Thank you so much. How and when did you start your spiritual awakening? Much love. My spiritual awakening. So, I would say up until I was 19, the word spirituality just wasn't in my vocabulary. It wasn't that I knew what it was, obviously, but it wasn't something that I was interested in, that I pursued, that I would say I was on the spiritual path. And it was my freshman year of college. After my gap year, when I was 19, I started taking yoga classes and I went to a yoga festival, and that is what started it all for me. Getting into a yoga practice, which I got into in the beginning for physical reasons. You know, like physical, like a workout class, which kind of doesn't embarrass me now, knowing that I did that, because that's how a lot of people get into yoga. That's how I got into it, but it means so much more to me now. Like the fitness part, I work out when I run and bike and stuff. When I go to yoga class, it's much more healing the body rather than breaking it down. And healing the mind. By the way, I cut my hair today, pretty short. I'm filming a vlog today too, so I don't know if the vlog or the mukbang will come first, but this is a part of a full what I eat in a day. This is only one meal. Oh my god. Nah! Should we get a thumbnail? Oh my god. These are organic. I just eat it, eat the skin and all. Not fair. Not fair, why are you so good? Like, oh my god. It's just like the sweetest, pumpkiniest. It's a butternut squash. You don't do anything to it. You cut it in half, you scoop out the seeds, you put it in the oven at 450 degrees for 1 hour, and you're left with the sweetest, most beautiful squashy goodness. And it goes so well with oranges too. Oh, you know what else I have here that I thought could be fun? I gotta do a whole nother sushi mukbang, obviously. But I have some nori wraps that I could, how am I gonna do this? This might turn into a mess. But pick up some of the lettuce and boom. Look at that, that took 2 seconds. Okay, we got another question from Melissa Gio. Tips for someone beginning to ride their bike instead of driving their car? Okay, so supposing you have no experience with like riding in the streets, that is something that you do need to learn. And all you just learn through practice, maybe having a friend take you out the first few times, learning how to hug the right side of the road, but also be aggressive enough where you're not like vulnerable, but being cautious enough where you don't get hit. Because a lot of cars are just, they think that they're more important. I think it's the opposite. I think the people who are out there in the elements, moving their body, not burning fossil fuels, they should take priority. But I recommend start in your local area. You know, take a trip somewhere that you don't even need. Like, instead of going to an appointment, you might be rushed, you might not be thinking. Just go down to the grocery store in your local area and pick up a kombucha and make that one of your first rides if you're nervous about riding in the streets. Get a rear rack and some panniers, which are like a little saddle bag where you can put stuff in, so that it's not fun to have like a backpack on while you're riding. Not fun for your shoulders. So I recommend getting a rack, a good bike. If you want to ride for exercise, you're going to want like a road bike. But if you want to ride for like a lot of commuting, you might want more of like a mix between a mountain bike and a road bike. So do some research. My like commuter bike is a Trek 520 and my road bike's a Madone carbon bike. Trek. Okay. This food is very good. Let me know in the comments. You want me to talk more about the food? More questions? Guide me, my friends. Guide me on what you want. Alright, we got a lot of questions. The people need answers. People need answers. Not that I know everything at all. I'm just a humanoid like you, but if you want my opinion, I'll give it to you. Drew Rice coming up with the question. Wow, Drew. Drew's going heavy. If you don't know, Drew likes rice. He's one of my favorite friends, YouTubers. I've never met him in person, but we're homies. Do you believe in God? Drew asked me. Drew, you are a profound man. My answer to that will be, I don't believe in the God that most of you probably think about when you hear the term God, a religious God. I pray to God. God dictates what happens in the world. No, I don't think I believe in that. But I believe that there's a cosmic universal connectedness with all beings and sort of a grand plan, I guess you could say, in that like we're all evolving towards enlightened consciousness, that we're all one, and that we should not be attached to material items because it doesn't bring us happiness. It's a Buddhist philosophy. So I don't believe in the Jewish God and the Christian God in the way that people think of it, but I'm also not atheist. Like, I don't identify as atheist. I believe in prayer. I believe in spirituality. I believe in esoteric, ethereal things that cannot be understood based on science. I grew up Jewish, but it wasn't a huge part of my upbringing. I hope that answers it, because I don't really know what I believe in. All I know is I go to yoga. I show gratitude every day in my life. I chant to Hindu deities because it makes me feel so high and good. Nicole Arnold. It's warm in Chicago. No excuses for not visiting. Sonia Click. Would you ever draw up a tattoo for me? You know, people have been asking me that, and there's an important thing to mention. Most tattoo artists will not want to copy a design from someone else. It's just why they're a tattoo artist, because they want to design you a tattoo and tattoo it for you. So I'm saying to people who want a tattoo design from me, in respect for other artists, wait till I become a tattoo artist for me to tattoo you, versus making a design that another artist will just copy, because I feel like that's not cool to the artist. So just a little patience.
Hey Jackson, just wondering what your opinion on crystals is, and if you have one, what's your favorite crystal?
Nice. So Sarah, I'm not sure anymore if you're actually just a dog human or if you always use that filter. I'm really not sure. I've never seen your actual face. Crystals. I'm not a crystal person, in that I think there are people that know a lot about crystals, collect crystals. I think it's awesome. I've known people that do that, and I'm fascinated by it, but I've never taken the time to learn about it for myself. So I wouldn't call myself a crystal person, so that I don't offend actual crystal people who know about it. But a friend of mine once sent me Amanda is her name. She was a viewer of mine that we met in Thailand. And she sent me a blue cryonite crystal necklace. I don't know where it is right now, but it must be somewhere. And I wore it pretty consistently for a few months, and I liked it. I liked having it with me. I liked taking it on hikes and charging it in the sun and treating it like a little friend. So I'm pro crystals. I think that surrounding yourself with beautiful natural objects is probably healing. Avery Hudson, what are your thoughts on the whole casual hookup culture that is so prevalent in our generation today? Can you truly keep sex casual, or is it against human nature to not get attached after sharing such an intense experience? Okay, great question. Sorry if I know some families are watching. I personally don't think there's anything wrong with talking about connection. But if that's something you don't want to share with your kids, maybe skip ahead a couple minutes of the video. Here's my view on that. I think that human beings are obsessed, it's in our DNA, to connect with each other as friends, but also physically, right? Everyone knows that. From a young age, you're drawn to experimenting with other humans, and that's a beautiful thing. And that's what makes our human race continue, right? It's programmed in us. Salad is done. But we're so obsessed with it that it can sometimes hurt people, because one person might just be wanting that rush and the beautiful physical one-time experience of connecting with someone, when another person might get more attached and want to spend more time with that person, get in a relationship. I think both of them are fine. Relationships are cool. I've been in monogamous relationships, but I also think that wanting to connect with someone at the spur of the moment and doing it that one time, and maybe if you don't feel the rush or need to get to know them very well, that's okay. If you want to exercise your animalistic, nature and tendencies, that's beautiful. Do it. I just don't want people to, it's all about communication. You can't do that if someone is expecting one thing and another person's expecting another. That's where problems happen. So I think that it is possible to share intimate experiences with people without getting into a relationship, but you got to communicate. Hope that answers it. What tattoos do you have? Sydney Calero asked me that. I will redirect you in the description box to my tattoo tour video where I show you all my tattoos and explain them. Liv Armstrong asks,
Yo, Jackson, what's up?
What's up?
Just wanted to know how you personally came into spirituality, whether it's through yoga, meditation, self-searching, anything like that. Just interested on what opened that door for you. Much love from Sweden.
From Sweden, that's awesome. Well, I pretty much answered your question in the beginning of the mukbang, right? Got into it through my yoga practice, and then it just spiraled out of control. And also books like the Bhagavad Gita and Yoga Sutras and the Ramayana and Autobiography of the Yogi. It all combined. Lauren Cordano, where are you at, girl? Why don't we hang out? We were friends from school, so she left. But I'm not there anymore either. I graduated. What's your opinions on vegans who smoke cigarettes? I think vegans can do whatever they want. I know that there are some like animal inputs in some mainstream cigarettes, which is really weird. And I think it's like American Spirits or something that are vegan ones. Supposing it's a vegan cigarette, I think you can do whatever you want with your body. I personally am into health and endurance activity, so I wouldn't smoke. But, it's hard. A part of my ego, I'll be totally honest, does judge people who smoke cigarettes because it's really stupid, because it factually is probably going to result in killing you and not going to be good for you. But we live in a free country and you can do whatever you want. And as long as it's not harming animals or the planet, I don't really care. So that's my opinion. I tend to, I think, hang out with people who don't smoke cigarettes, who care about their bodies, but it doesn't mean you're a bad person. If you do, it's just you're kind of into different things than me. Jalman, how do you get past people saying cruel things about animals in front of you and thinking you are wrong for being vegan? Jasmine says hello. I think that's her dog. It's a really great question. You run into that all the time as a vegan, especially if you're kind of a new vegan, maybe a submissive vegan. People are going to try to attack. No one really does that to me anymore, because I give off this vibe. I wear my vegan shirts. I got my YouTube channel. You don't want to mess with me, because odds are I have more talking points than you have, you meat eater, that I'm going to school you on. But I used to get it in the beginning. And at the end of the day, the first and most important thing is don't care what other people think. If you're doing something that you've thought about and it means something to you in your heart, to not harm animals, to be healthy, no matter what everyone says to you, it might cause some emotional trauma for them to say that, but it's up to you as an individual to get to that point where you have the confidence where that doesn't put you down. Number two, if you do want to try to have a little more aggressive tactic towards it and kind of explain to people right there why you're vegan, why it's wrong that they're ridiculing you, all you have to do is find out why you're vegan. Are you vegan because you love animals so much? Then you say, okay. When someone approaches you, you say, hey, would you ever treat your house dog, your golden retriever, the way they treat cows, chickens, and pigs? Do you know that they anally electrocute them, artificially inseminate or force pregnancy, rape these animals, keep them so confined they can't turn around and their brains go crazy because they're amongst so many other packed, crammed other animals? Do you realize how psychologically messed up that is? I don't want to be a part of that violence, so I choose to eat plants. And if you don't like that happening to dogs and cats, you should care too and be vegan. If you care about the environment, you should have a little facts in your mind that says, hey, studies show that anywhere between 20 to 50% of total greenhouse gas emissions are caused by the livestock agriculture industry. That's more than transportation, all of it combined, planes, trains, automobiles, according to the IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Okay, that's a completely non-biased, not vegan group, says that animal agriculture is even higher at 18% of greenhouse gas emissions total versus transportation, which is at 13. So I care about the environment. You can't be a meat eater and care about the environment. It's even better than driving a Prius or driving. So what I'm saying is equip yourself with some facts so that you can peacefully, execute them when people confront you. But the most important thing is just don't care what people think. If you know what you're doing is right, that's all that matters. What would be your best training tip for doing a half marathon? Be consistent about moderately running. Like, I would say, also we come to Australia, yeah, eventually. Just be consistent and don't overtrain, don't hurt yourself. Get out there and run. I think once you can run 8 miles at a 9-minute pace, you're probably ready to do a half marathon race. You can sign up. Be consistent, train 3 to 4 days a week, half of those runs being easy runs, conversational pace, and then 1 or 2 a hard effort, a tempo run, or maybe some sprint work. But I would say I'm not an accomplished runner just yet. Go check out VO2 Max Productions. Sage Canaday is his name. He's a high-carb, vegan, professional ultra runner that has a YouTube channel.
Jackson,
what's up, bro?
Man? So I want to know, it's Friday, it's the weekend, what do you have planned?
Whoa. 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 Pete, you are so tight. Okay, so this was kind of a messed up weekend because my family, my parents, who live in Los Angeles, were supposed to fly into Oakland 2 hours ago. And about 4 hours ago this morning, they called me and said our flight got canceled. They're probably now coming tomorrow. So what I was gonna be doing this weekend is my parents were coming in tonight. I was gonna go to a yin yoga class with my mom tonight. We were then gonna go into San Francisco, meet up with my aunt and cousins and have dinner at a vegan restaurant there. And then tomorrow I would just hang out with my parents, go on a hike, go out to dinner, whatever. But that's obviously a different type of weekend because my parents were coming in. On the average weekend, I'd probably go to an animal rights protest. Pretty much every weekend we have direct action everywhere protests at a grocery store, an event. I'd probably maybe go to a potluck there's different vegan houses we have within Berkeley. We live in like a vegan cult here. It's amazing. Or I shouldn't say cult, but like a community. So maybe I'd go to a potluck. I'd go to a yoga class with my friend Naomi. I like to go to a bar, actually. This is interesting. I don't drink. I haven't been drunk in 5 years. But there's a bar called the Starry Plow here in Berkeley that has really alternative, cool live music. Like I might even go there tonight. I like to just go there, drink water, play darts, and go out to a bar with a friend. I did that last weekend as well. Last weekend I went to a comedy show. I like to go to the movies. I keep it pretty chill. Hang out with friends. But I definitely tend to do more fun stuff during the weekend than the weekday. So yeah.
First of all, I love you. You're awesome. I love your videos. And
I love
I'm
you
so
too.
glad I found you. My question for your mukbang is, how do you reduce bloating? Because I eat a vegan diet and I get hella bloated.
Yeah. So, I feel you too. I used to get more bloated. Like, I really don't get bloated anymore. I'm almost done with this. I got all that salad. I'm bloated at all right now. Sorry if you find that obnoxious. I just find that it's important. You know, I talk so much about diet and exercise. I have to show my body and the results too, right? A big thing with not getting bloated is proper food combining. I'm not to the point where you should be so strict. Like, look, I've eaten some seeds in here, cooked foods, raw foods. It wouldn't be called perfect food combining, but I'm also not like, I think the big no-nos in my experience with food combining is like trail mix, for instance. Dried fruit with nuts doesn't mix well. Like a lot of peanut butter and bananas, unfortunately it tastes really good, but it doesn't mix perfectly. It might give you bloating. And then the biggest thing is if you ate like some quinoa and then like oranges, apples, and a banana all at the same time, mixing different like fruits and cooked foods, probably not gonna be a good idea. So if you have that problem and just wanna frickin' fix it, I recommend trying to mono meal for like a couple weeks. Like for every meal you have, just make it one thing. If you're having breakfast, just eat 10 oranges or, you know, a few bananas. Or at lunch, just have like just quinoa and greens. Try to eat more simply, and if that doesn't help, then maybe there's something like a bigger issue. But if that does help, then you know it's just kind of improper food combining and you need to mellow out on your recipes.
Hi Jackson, I was wondering what your thoughts were on fast food restaurants expanding their menu options to accommodate vegans. Hi Jackson, I was wondering what your thoughts were on...
You guys ask great questions.
Do you think this is a step in the right direction?
Definitely a step in the right direction. Thank you so much, Fly836. Fast food restaurants adding in vegan options. What could be better? a part of the vegan and whole sustainability transition in this world isn't going to happen by certain industries dying and us building new ones. For instance, I guarantee you one day, Exxon or Chevron is going to be the biggest solar panel manufacturer. You know what I mean? All these big industries, they don't care about serving meat. They don't care about mining oil and selling gas. They care about making a profit. So if they're going to start adding in more plant-based foods, people are going to start eating less meat and they're going to be providing more vegan foods. That's awesome. All they care about is money. So I think I think it's awesome to eat vegan at non-vegan restaurants. Vote with your dollar. Show them that you are coming to this restaurant because they have vegan options versus just going to vegan restaurants and preaching to the choir. All right, I'm almost done with the questions. Just curious, if you had no responsibilities or financial restrictions for 6 months, what would you do with your time and why? That's a great question. And to keep it 100, I've kind of lived most of my life up till this point where now I'm actually like working more and having to be responsible. But I've been privileged enough, just keeping it real, where I kind of have lived that way for a long time. So what I would do is what I've done many times in the past, which is get on my bicycle, go to a foreign country, and bike and live and eat the foods and meet the people. I would go to like Vietnam area and just start biking around. Is what I would do. Maybe I go to Africa. Maybe I go to South America. That's what I love to do. Still got some more questions. I'm trying to eat faster so this video doesn't go on forever. What are some personal goals that aren't directly connected to veganism that you're working towards? Becoming a tattoo artist. Plain and simple. That's like my biggest non-vegan focus goal. What's your favorite song at the moment? That's a hard one. I've talked about these artists on the mukbangs in the last few days, but the song Glorious by Mamuse. Glorious. Makes me really happy. My favorite song in the world is called Moon Age Daydream by David Bowie, bless his soul. I also really love Wash It Away, Nako, and Medicine for the People. Oh, so good. I also like Lorde. Whenever I ride my bike, I listen to Lorde. I never seen the diamond in the flame. Yay. Oh, I have some more of the tomato sauce, so I will dip that, or drip that, into there. Whoopsies. Did you guys see from my last video that I have announced that I'll be doing the 10,000 calorie challenge again? Oh my god, why do I do this? I said I'd never do it again. But I'm actually excited for this next one. I'm not going to reveal what the focus and the topic of the 10,000 calorie challenge will be, because each one of them is themed, right? I've done raw vegan, dirty vegan. This next one's going to be awesome. But I ain't doing it until I reach 25,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is all dependent on you, how fast that comes. Well, and me for making good content. I shouldn't blame that all on you. But you guys can help me reach it quicker. Get a friend to subscribe. Tell them to watch my videos. I will do the 10,000 calorie challenge again when I hit 25,000. Can't believe it. So good. Alright, maybe I should talk about a story now before we close it down. Because I gotta finish all this quinoa. A story? Like anything? Alright, I have a good idea. I'll tell you a story from my summer camp days. A lot of you guys don't know this because I haven't really talked about it. But like, the most influential part of my upbringing was from 3rd grade until 12th grade. Every single summer, I went to the same sleepaway summer camp called Camp Hess Kramer. It's a Jewish summer camp in Malibu, California on the beach. About an hour from my house. And that I grew up in LA. And I met my best friends there when I was little, and they're still my best friends. Literally to this day. Most of them are vegan now too. But every summer, you know, we would congregate at this Jewish summer camp and just live life and be little crazy kids and learn how to get our first girlfriends and learn how to be social and like be a leader. Like, I learned so much being away from my parents every summer, my family, and having to be a little more independent, having to work more with other people. And it was just the most fun of my whole life. So I'm trying to think. I should tell you a story from summer camp. Okay, every night you have a bedtime cabin activity before going to bed. Like, your counselors, before tucking you in, would do a like 15-minute fun thing with you just to, you know, be awesome and so that you're having a good time at camp. And when we were like, must have been like 10 or 11 years old, me and my friends liked a lot of the girls in this one cabin. So we literally, this is so cute to think about. You know the song Wonderwall by Oasis? You're my Wonderwall. It's like super cliche, lovey-dovey, emotional song. Backbeat, the word is on the street that the fire in your heart is out. We literally wrote like a parody, not a parody, but we wrote a spin-off about these girls' cabin, and one of our friends played guitar and had his guitar there, and we went to their cabin and serenaded them with Wonderwall. And my friend Jacqueline, she's probably not watching this, but she's still my friend, I had a crush on her, and she was my first kiss, and maybe it was a few days after singing that Wonderwall song. So for any of you young kids out there, serenade the woman or man that you are attracted to at a young age with a really embarrassing, silly, goofy, cliche song, and maybe you'll get to kiss them. That was like the most like PC story I could possibly tell. I got a lot of crazy stories too. Hot damn. I'll save that for another mukbang. Tell me, do you want to hear some of the scandalous stories? Oh my god, one just came into my mind. I'm going to save it for the next one. I'll give you a teaser. I was traveling in Laos with my brother on my gap year. And, oh my god. We bought some ganja from some like taxi driver in Laos. And we had it on us. And we took this hiking trek to literally a village. Now I'm just telling the story. Okay, I'll tell the story. I'll tell it now. We have some weed on us. We hiked like 2 days with a guide, some local dude that we found, that we paid. Hiked us into a mountain village in the rain. These people were 2 days from civilization. No electricity, lived in huts, had pigs running around, all in the dirt. There was no like drywall or glass. Like, it was straight up mud, houses, and straw. And they welcomed us in, and they gave us all this fermented alcohol that they made, and they were just boozing us up before dinner. It was a surreal experience. And they were boozing us up so hard that me and my brother were like, hey, they're clearly into having a good time. I probably don't get weed off them. Do you think we should offer them some weed? And we thought about it for a little bit. And then we asked our guide, and there's strict laws in Southeast Asia about that stuff. Like, you don't want to mess around. You'll go to prison. We asked our tour guide, hey, we have some weed on us. You think we should offer some to them to be nice? And he was like, no! And like, and then he kind of didn't say anything. And he was just like, no. And he didn't speak great English. But we were semi-convinced that when we hiked down a few days later, like the cops were going to be waiting for us and he was going to rat us out and get money or something. And we were so paranoid. Obviously, it never happened. But that was a pretty... How do you like that story? Jeez. Crazy. I also have so many stories from my cross-America bike trip that I'll tell in future mukbangs. Last few bites. So yeah, please give me feedback, guys. You guys are so good about commenting. I love it. Because I get to like learn your personalities from comment to comment every time in each video, which I like. But yeah, tell me if like, are these good mukbangs? Are they boring? Do I need to have a better angle with the camera? Does the food need to be closer? Like, give me some feedback so that I can make the best ones that I possibly can. I would appreciate that. I don't leave anything behind. Okay. That is done. Last orange. I'm like a little bunny. Where's the food? Yeah, my booch. Oh, it's actually kind of strong, but I need to flavor it. Okay, that was fun. Thank you so much for watching another mukbang. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Please subscribe if you have not already. Again, I told you to leave a comment. Tell me what you think, any guidance, any feedback. And yeah, this is a part of a larger What I Eat in a Day video, so make sure to check that out. Much love, Dream Extreme.